Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called High-Tech Security for a $50 million Mansion. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we post a new episode. I'd also like to tell you about HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a great service that allows you to purchase a live phone call from more than 100 celebrities for just $19.95. Give it a try. HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, let's get started. Have you ever gone online and checked out 25, 50, or $100 million mansions and asked yourself, do these homes get broken into? What kind of security systems do they have? How do you protect something that massive, that valuable? Well, we did the research and we found some really interesting things to tell you. The first thing we found out is that every mansion is different. You may have a $5 million mansion with state-of-the-art security technology protecting it, and you may see a $50 million mansion with an alarm system from back in the 80s or 90s that any teenager could hack or bypass. It all depends on who the owner is and what they want and what they need. Generally speaking, there are various layers and rings of security available to homes in that price range. The first ring of security is often determined by the local police departments. Some of them have really fast response times, and some of them are a little slower or understaffed or underfunded now. And because of that, they literally hate answering home alarm calls. Why? Because there are so many false alarm signals that they often get that tie up what limited manpower they have. They really despise that sort of thing. Some of these police departments despise it so much that they'll write you a significant ticket if they come to your house and it turns out it was a false alarm. Now, some police departments are so problematic for some communities that these high-end neighborhoods have hired their own private security force to protect their homes and their property. For example, the residents of Beverly Hills at one time had so many crooks and thieves and home invaders coming up over the hills, not coming in through the streets, not coming in through surface streets. These guys were walking up over the hills and coming back down on the other side onto the backyards of some of these mansions, and then they would just break in whenever they wanted to. It got so bad that the residents of Beverly Hills had to band together and hire their own private security to try to address this problem. So next, we have physical walls or virtual walls that are being used to protect these estates. These are, of course, designed to deter or detect the presence of someone attempting to come onto the property. Next, some homes will also have proximity sensors and cameras on the grounds of the property, and this is, of course, to detect the presence of someone who shouldn't be there stepping onto your property. These will usually have night vision capability that will be able to spot someone at any time of day or night. You know what else they have? They have built-in two-way communications on a lot of these systems, so that if you were stupid enough to come onto the property, security will actually come on over a loudspeaker and tell you to get off, leave while you still can. Now, once these sensors are triggered, then the home alarm and lights will go off and the video signals from the security cameras will be fed directly to the homeowner's smartphone so they can see what's going on no matter where they are. It's at this point that if the owner has some guard dogs, that the dogs spring into action and start chewing on the intruder's arms or legs. You know, it's why they get the dog food every night. Now, next you have the doors and windows. Most high net worth individuals with homes to protect will have high security doors installed on the front and back of the house. These doors and windows are almost impossible to kick in. There's a video online now of a guy who goes up to the front door of Jeffrey Epstein's mansion in New York, and he's there to do a video telling people about the mansion. Now, the first thing you notice about the door he's standing in front of is how enormous and fortified it appears to be. This is a door that you would expect to see on a castle. It literally looks like it couldn't be knocked down by a police battering ram. It is very tall, very, very fortified. Now, I'm guessing it would have to be breached by the high explosives that some SWAT teams use, because a simple handheld or car battering ram is not going to knock this thing down. It is Fort Knox. It's just amazing. Now, the other really creepy thing about this door, if you watch the video, you'll notice something about this door. It's subtle, but it's there. The door has no doorknobs. The doorknobs have been removed. Now, so the only way to enter this door is to have the proper security code and type it into the keypad. But, removing doorknobs, you get the impression that on this property, it wasn't just done to prevent people from breaking in. I got the distinct impression that it may have also been done to prevent people from escaping the home and calling the police. There's just a certain creepy air to it that makes it impossible not to think that when you see a knobless front door. Very, very creepy, especially when you know whose home it used to be. The other thing about mansions is that they often have break-resistant glass windows. Now, these shatter-resistant windows, they're not the usual shatter-resistant windows you may find in hurricane areas. These are windows you can take a battering ram to, a sledgehammer, and you're not going to knock it in. That is also very common. Now, what about the interior of these mansions? Well, that's where things really get interesting. Many of them will have standard infrared motion detectors and video cameras throughout the home. And once again, many of these cameras will have special two-way speakers attached, which allow the homeowner to communicate to the burglars and encourage them to leave immediately because the police are on the way. But do you know what else some of these mansions now have that people don't realize? They also have acoustic detectors that can hear someone talking or walking across the floor or even breathing. Believe it or not, there are some professional burglars out there now, in fact, many, that wear special cloth-covered shoes so that these acoustic detectors cannot hear them stepping across the floor, and so that, perhaps the homeowners upstairs won't be able to hear them stepping across or walking across the floor. I'll tell you what else is interesting. Some professionals will even scan a room with a portable laser light detector to see if there are any laser beam security systems, like you may have seen on some Tom Cruise movies, that are being used to protect that room or the entire house. If they spot one of these laser beams crisscrossing the floor or crisscrossing the room, then you would think they would leave immediately. But that's not what happens. It really encourages them. Why? Because now they know you have some very valuable things in the home, which you are protecting with very expensive home security technology. Do you know what else high-end burglars really like to find in homes these days? They really love it when a homeowner has a panic room. Why is that? Because that's where the most valuable stuff is usually hidden. So you're probably wondering, how is a burglar going to get into the safe that's hidden in a heavily fortified panic room? After all, everybody's seen the movie. Everybody knows how difficult it is. Well, they get in really easily. They will just wake up the father or the mother and the kids, and then put a gun to the heads of one of the kids. And then the parents immediately open up the panic room and show them how to open up the safe. It's very quick, very easy, and it happens all the time. Now, the problem for all burglars is time. They need to move as quickly as possible before they are detected caught, or arrested. That's why so many pros love to rob a house while it's occupied and while everybody is upstairs sleeping. It gives them a lot more time. Why is that? Because when home burglars get interviewed by the cops after they commit a crime, or when they write their autobiographies, they always talk about how much easier homes are to break into when everybody's asleep. You would think it would be just the opposite. You would think they would want to break into an unoccupied house, but that's not the case at all. So, what is the biggest security threat to burglars? Well, it turns out that it's the guard dogs. Dogs aren't as expensive as alarms and cameras and motion detectors, but they will deter most criminals. And now, unless the burglar comes into the house with a steak that's been dipped in sleeping powder, the dog usually poses a big threat. Thank you for watching. I want to tell you that we're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more breaking news stories coming up for the future. So we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free and click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post a new episode. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.